How to do, girl monsters? Today we are checking out the new Signs of the Swarm. Very exciting stuff. This is their new track, Malady, the closer off their upcoming album. I'm gonna stop talking like that. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying of me. Their upcoming album, Amongst the Low and Empty. They made an Among Us shirt. So that's also really funny. Among Us, the Low and Empty, you know? It's like kind of 2 years late, but it's, you know, it's funny. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Among Us balls. But very excited for this. The singles we've heard have been pretty fantastical. Experimenting with the sound that Signs of the Swarm has established. It's been pretty new for them, pretty new for the scene. They've been deathcore tracks that stand out. I'm excited to get into Malady. So far, the two songs we heard, Tower of Torsos and Amongst the Low and Empty, they're pretty different from each other. You know, still iconically Signs of the Swarm. I mean, like, David's got iconic voice. Bobby be like, and that's neat. That's pretty neat. So I'm excited to get into this. Before we do, would really appreciate it if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. Helps me out a ton. Helps you find new music. Speaking of new music, I have links down in the description below to my social media as well as my own personal project, Sunscourge, where I collaborate with vocalists in the deathcore scene. I've collaborated with Johnny from Carcosa, Alan from Distant, Josh from Oracle Spectre, Taylor from Left to Suffer, Blake from Disembodied Tyrant, and Devin from Worm Shepherd. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm taking recommendations for vocalists I should work with also, so send me ideas. Kind of THALL opening. Yeah, that's THALL. Like very Humanity's Last Breath. Oh. I saw cells. This is THALL, dude. Unexpected. That's funny. This is honestly the last thing I expected from Signs of the Swarm. Ooh, kind of anthemic here too. Still staying close to the, you know, the known sign sounds too. That's just such a good motif to keep bringing back throughout the song. Yo, samples! Oh, they're turning into crunchy sound. Crunchy sound. Damn, bruh. I already have hearing loss in my left ear from Lorna. My right ear from Lorna. Gulp. Damn, that was like the perfect intermediate between Humanity's Last Breath and Signs of the Swarm. They didn't do THALL. They didn't THALL so hard that they ended up sounding like a different band. They actually stayed pretty faithful to themselves. I think you could listen and be like, that's a Signs of the Swarm song. It sounds different, but it's a Signs of the Swarm song, which is, you know, pretty nice. It's pretty nice to experiment like that, but still sound like yourself. You know, tough to do, tough to pull off. It's a fine middle ground, fine middle ground. Whoa, sobriety test, sobriety test. I'm excited for this album. It should be really good because, you know, we've had 3 songs that are very different from each other. They bring different things. I do think a common theme between them is a lot of electronics. There's been quite a bit of ambience as well, done differently from the way they have previously. I think, you know, one of my favorite albums from Signs is Vital Deprivation. It just hits. And, you know, you compare that album to this, completely different stuff, because that had like black metal elements, and this like newer stuff, it doesn't really, it's just like deathcore. It's just deathcore. But is it just deathcore? No, because I tricked you. It's not just deathcore. There's all sorts of cool stuff that they're experimenting with, and it just like really feels like their own sound. Like no one else sounds like this. Good spot to be. Really good spot to be. If you watch my reaction to the latest Crown Magnetar, I talk a lot about, you know, my thoughts there with you know, what should you go for in your music? And hot take. It's not a hot take. At least I don't think so. You should have diversity. You should have diversity. You shouldn't write 8 of the same songs and call that an album, because that's lame. Boo! Because, you know, what happens? People, they get their favorite song, and they just listen to that. Why? Because why would you listen to 7 not as good songs, right? Right? I think there's so much more value in having a diverse discography. And Signs they're really accomplishing that. I think album to album, they have very, very different sounds, and this is no exception. Except it sounds different. So it kind of is an exception because it is different from the rest, but the rest is different from the other rest. So it is no different from the rest than the others are from each other, but it is also different from the rest. I rest my case. Adios, amigo.